uh, Poop night or Guy Fawkes, night and all that, and actually looking into in regards to the song, I found one source that actually that was the source that actually ended me getting on that track again. I already know that there must be some great songs in regards of against the Antichrist, because the whole thing of burning, this doll or whatever of the poop or whatever at the fire with the devil, and all that. You would remember in regards of Roman Catholicism and what it really is. And of course, the Antichrist of the number 666. So there must have been a lot of material in the past, which, I don't know where is, but there must be something out there. Apparently, both in the US and England, they kept this. Now, apparently in the US, they don't keep this anymore. But I found out that actually in England, there are still some places that keeps it. And I looked at it, I was like, I don't know. But the thing is, the thing is, when you keep something like that, it's still a remembrance in regards of who the Antichrist is. Now I don't, I think they still have lost a lot in regards of, but one of the groups that they talked to still burned one of these. They call it, they call it something like it's a doll, of the poop, and they burn him at the stake and all that. So I must say, I'm not entirely sure how to, but it's not people, that is getting burned. This is just mere statues, that is, or dolls, or they call them some things. I can't remember the word, but, they burn them in the stake and all that, and remember in regards of, trying to blow up the English Protestant Parliament, and so. So it's keeping the things alive in that sense, but I think they probably have forgot. But still, it will still get people to think, why are we actually keeping this, And but anyway, of course, the Jesuits are still working in our days, 500 years down the line. But I was looking at this in regards of they had these burning crosses, where they walk with these burning crosses. I'm like, okay, what's that about, Apparently these 70 crosses, that they walk down the street with and all that is burning and all that, is to represent 17, I guess they must be Protestant martyrs, that was killed by Bloody Mary, burned, at the stake. And so I saw a little of it in regards of, trying to find a little more information. And this guy is incredible. It's like, give me a break. Oh, but they had the chance of recanting. Like, but was she really so bad because she was a pious person? She was a Roman Catholic, just trying to smooth out the, it's bullshit, And then it's, regards of burning the people and all that. But they had the chance to recant. Yeah, recant to what? Roman Catholicism? Yeah, well, maybe they didn't want to follow the Antichrist, Maybe they didn't want to be part of the Antichrist system of Roman Catholicism. But anyway, it's insane, This is, anyway, let's hear a little of, just tired of,
reign of Queen Mary were burned to death in front of the then Star Inn, now the Town Hall in Lewes. And then it goes on to say that the obelisk was provided by public subscriptions and erected in 1901. Yet this event took place in the 16th century.
Now, of course, in regards to the obelisk, that is weird. That, and again, I've you see it in Denmark as well. Why would you use an obelisk that represent, Anyway, it's just weird. But anyway.
During the reign of Bloody Mary, it was ordered that dissenting Protestants be burned at the stake. It was outside the old Star Inn in Lewes that this happened. The town hall now resides on the spot where the burnings took place. No fewer than 288 Protestants were burned across the country for their heretical views.
And now listen to what he says, Oh, yeah, and by the way, in regards of the pious thing, I guess that's, before. But anyway, let's continue.
17 of those in Lewes. But I gather...
So, as I understand it, I'm not entirely sure, but I guess these 17 must be the 17 that is represented in regards to the burning crosses that they walk with in regards to the... I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's interesting to see that at least some are still keeping these traditions. Now again, I'm still kind of, because again, it's tradition, and first and foremost, it would be the festivals of Jehovah we should keep. But on the other hand, I can see that this is a festival that at least is based on some truth, in regards of remembering, in regards of Roman Catholics, and can be used to remember who the Antichrist is, and of course teach your children in regard and all that. Keeping that alive. That is, that would be one thing that it could be very, usable for. But it is not a command in the Bible. It is a tradition. But compared to many of the other traditions, pagan bullshit traditions, that is totally, just totally empty and, empty air, smoke. That's pretty much just nonsense. At least this, this festival or tradition, whatever you want to, at least it has something in regards of history and in regards of truth. And to remember who, what they are capable of in regards to the Jesuits and the Roman Catholic bullshit institution, maniac, power hungry, insanity asylum, Anyway, let's go on. Oh, they also had another thing where he was clothed as a bishop, I think it was, or a cardinal. I'm not entirely sure which one of them. But anyway, and then they are throwing, fireworks at him, while there was two priests. And, again, going back to Roman Catholicism and showing that, showing what we what Protestants, I know it's not really, we are to love our enemies. But of course, it's not killing anyone, it's just showing that we do not accept the Antichrist, Of course, no one should accept the Antichrist, the arch enemy of Jesus Christ, The Pope, the great stinking Pope, the unholy faker, the copycat, or whatever. Anyway, let's go on. Let's hear what he says,
Mary was a much maligned queen. Yet,
a maligned queen.
Yes, she did authorise the death of 300 odd people who disagreed with her religion, but apparently she was a very pious and devout woman.
A really pious and devout woman. She was a Roman Catholic. Pious for what? Devout for worshipping idols? Cookies? Statues? And burning, of course, people that stood for the truth. Anyway, let's go on.
No, I agree.
Oh, by the way, I think actually it was actually Bloody Mary that actually ended up, there was another queen, the 8-day queen, I think she was, and then Bloody Mary comes in, and anyway, the 8-day queen, I think, was actually, her head was chopped off, I think. Anyway, I can't remember all the details, but that was the first queen of England, as I understand it. And afterward, the problem was that they couldn't find a man. But I don't understand the problem, because instead of going, it goes through the man. And if the man hasn't gotten a son, well, you just go backward. Apparently, they didn't think about that. I don't know why they didn't think about that. So they were going like in regards to women instead. Just not going. It's not. We have to be. I don't know. Maybe they they should have read their Bible a little better. It goes through the man, and if there's no, son to follow after, well, let's say if you have a king, and you have, you have two brothers. One of them becomes the king, right? Then one dies. Well, what do you then do? Who becomes the king? Well, the brother, of course. Now, if the king doesn't give a son, and has something to go in line, well, you go just backward in regards to the brother that might have, and if the brother is dead, well, you could take his, anyway. Well, in any case, it goes through the man, and not so if you have a king and he has two sons, one son sits on the throne, doesn't have a son, and dies, well, then you have the brother had a son, and the brother is now dead, but he has a son. Well, you go then by this son. You go, you don't go through the women. So they could have found a male king very easily, I think, if they just have followed the principle in regards of going through the man. Instead of they're going through the women, and hoping that the women will provide a man. But then still, you're still breaking the line of the kings, because the tribe goes through the male, the man. Yeah, so I don't know why, they had a lot of issues in regards to that, apparently. And they really wanted a king, as a male king, But, I guess, I can't take a time machine and go back and tell them. But anyway, and I do wonder in regards of the house in Denmark as well, in regards of kingship, if it actually is a valid, royal house that we have. If you actually go back and look at who the first verified king is. And as I understand it, we actually have two. We have one, and then the other gets Denmark and all that. That would be Bluetooth. What, I don't know what it's called in English. But anyway, then of course you would need to follow that line and then see if the people in the royal house is actually valid or not. Anyway, that of course would be a work for itself. But again, anyway, we have a queen at the moment. A queen. All this feminist bullshit thing and all that. I'm so sick and tired of it. And we're murdering our children as well in this country. The weakest in society. We have nearly murdered 1 million children. That it has been verified. Now, of course, who knows how many who has been, killed outside that number. Anyway, let's go forward.
It is completely difficult to feel sorry for a tyrant who orders her subjects to be burnt at the stake. But you've got to understand the times and the importance that religion played on the psyche of the population.
Yeah, you have to understand that some people just wanted to read the Bible and didn't want to follow the Antichrist. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Oh, it's just the times and all that. Yeah, because the devil's children don't want the Protestants to stand on truth and because when they read the Bible, of course, they find out who the Antichrist is, and they find out the whole system is bullshit. Anyway.
Religion was everything. From the moment you were born, how you worshipped your God mattered, and it determined whether you would ultimately be united with the Holy Father or burn in the fires of hell.
Well, of course, that's, as I understand it, actually a pagan doctrine in regards to the heaven-hell doctrine. Use lake of fire and the place of the dead, or the realm of the dead. It's called Sheol or Hades, and then you have the lake of fire, which is also equivalent to Gehenna. Jesus is using Gehenna in regards to the lake of fire. And people have a way of mixing these two together, and the King James Version have some translations issues on that behalf. You can go to the word Sheol in Hebrew, and it's translated to 3 different English words, hell, grave, and pit. And then you go to the New Testament, and Gehenna is translated to hell. But Gehenna is in regards to the lake of fire. And, you get so much, Anyway, it's just, but anyway, the realm of the dead, or the place of the dead, is one of the places That is Sheol, and equivalent to Hades in Greek. So every time you see Hades in Greek, it's equivalent to Sheol. And you can check that by in regards of manuscripts and all that. And of course, Sheol, or Hades, is cast into the lake of fire, which in regards of Gehenna, and is done away with death, in the future. So yeah, we're all going to the place of the dead when we die, Anyway, sleeping, awaiting the resurrection. Where did Jesus go 3 days and 3 nights? He went into the earth 3 days and 3 nights. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on.
One thing that is often overlooked when condemning Mary is that those that were to be burned were repeatedly given opportunities to recant their beliefs and thereby save their lives.
Oh yeah, because we have to remember, looking at Mary, that these Christians, you see, they had the chance to recant. In regards of turning back to the whole house of Roman Catholicism, yes, they had the chance to recant their belief in regards of standing on the Bible. So you see, Mary is not that, bad a woman, You have to be kidding me. What is this snake oil? I'm just tired of these, bullshitters pretty much, Oh yeah, but they had the chance to recant. So, I guess then it's okay to just burn them at the stake, because they had the chance to come back to the mother harlot, They had the chance, she's not that bad, you just come back to the devil. Oh, you have to be kidding me.
Incredibly, they chose not to.
Yeah, they stood strong, he's really smoothing out these things, and of course so many are nowadays, the Roman Catholics, this and that, are really not so bad and all that. They're bullshitters, they're liars and deceivers, wolves in cheap clothing. Don't be, don't. They might look Christian on the outside, but they're worshipping cookies and statues and images. So anyway, I don't trust these people. Don't trust Roman Catholics. They might speak like sounding like very Christian, but that they're worshipping the devil, and it's incredible. I guess.
This is St. Anne's Church on the top of St. Anne's Hill, and what a lovely church it is. Religion has always played an important part in the everyday lives of the Lewishams. There are still many churches, obviously, that are in daily use, but sadly many have disappeared and are now only remembered in their street names. It is a fascinating place, Lewis, so why not join me again when I go exploring?
Well, anyway, that was not so much interesting in the last part and all that. I just, in regards of smoothing things out, right? She was a pious woman. She was an idolater. She was worshipping the devil in regards of... I remember seeing one of the documentaries in regards of, she was a very persistent Roman Catholic, doing the Mass. What is the Mass? Oh, yeah, that's the cookie Jesus. The blasphemy of the Mass. You've got to be kidding me. A pious person? Well, maybe pious for the devil, but yeah, not for the truth. So yeah. And of course, the 8-day queen was actually, if I remember correctly, a Protestant, because the king himself, that was a young king, and of course he wanted a man on the throne. And again, I don't understand why they didn't go to the Bible and actually figure out, hey, we need to go backward and then we find a male king. It shouldn't be that, instead of going backward, they go forward in regards of the tree of just why. If you can figure out to go back to your father, why not go back to your father's father and see if he had other, male children. If he had another male children, then go by that, and thereby you would still follow the kingly line, established kingly line. Now that if you're going by women, even if the women had a boy or a child that was a male child, you're breaking the line of the king in regards of going through the man. Oh yeah, it's just incredible. How could they have misunderstood this and messed this up? I don't know. Apparently, it was a very, very big thing that they couldn't figure out, and thereby they didn't want a woman as on the throne. They wanted a king on the throne, and of course I can understand that absolutely. And then the only choice, because they didn't want a Roman Catholic, the king at that point that died young, didn't want, and who knows if he, who knows why he died, You never know in regards to Roman Catholics running around and poisoning people, It's not something that is, what do you call it? It's not unheard of, Just read the Jesuit oath if you want to know in regards to the of the Jesuits. The Jesuits oath, so diabolical. And again, Roman Catholics always use Christian names and Christian this and all that, but they are Satanists to the very core. They are wicked people. Very, very wicked people. And if people really are, in regards of truth and all that, they should come out of that wicked system. But if you read the Jesuit oath, how could anyone believe that the Jesuits would be Christian? Look at the oath, It's so diabolical, reading it. It's so filthy. It's so wicked. It's so diabolical, so satanic. And yet they use a lot of Christian terms, Yeah, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by these people. Anyway, so the young king, don't want, Bloody Mary, as she's now called, on the throne because he's a stout Roman Catholic, and it really irritates him that she's, doing these Catholic things that he had told her not to do, in regards to Roman Catholic Mass and all that, and. So he has there's the other queen, the 8-day queen, which becomes the first queen of England. But Mary gathers support and takes over, and the other queen, the 8-day queen, is her head is chopped off, if I remember correctly. So that's. So I guess that's the beginning of her bloodbath. I don't know, but anyway. I haven't looked deeper into it, but so the verification of the 8-day queen was actually verified by the king, and yet Roman Catholic Mary took over. Now again, I see a lot of errors that the king should have actually, while alive, should have declared these things. Besides in document, actually have made ready the people for her, So it would have been established that she would be considered queen if the king died. So that's another mistake I can see. So one thing is not to go backward in regards of your tree, in regards of the father's father, and see if he had any brothers and all that. And if he had any brothers, see if he had a son, and in regards of, and so forward, and who, So I think you could probably have found a male king at that point if they just have done that. So anyway, the line is broken anyway in regards of going through the women. So anyway, so going backward wouldn't, So yeah, anyway, and that would then you could still have a male king on the throne. That makes pretty much sense to me. But the other issue they make, or that the king didn't do, that I think he should have done, or that they should have prepared should have, she didn't even know it, as I understand it. She came to, she didn't know it, she was just collected after the king's death and all that. And this should have been proclaimed before his death, that if I die, this woman, she will be queen over you, not, yeah, anyway. So Mary took the takeover because she saw herself as the queen of heaven. So you had two queens, that was considering themselves queens and all that. Again, well, if they just have gone back in the tree and found a male heir, it shouldn't have. Anyway, of course that is in the past. So I guess that might have been in regards to the 7 burning crosses commemorate the 7 Protestant martyrs burned by Bloody Mary. Pope Paul V, 1552 to 1621, is burned in effigy every year. That's the word, effigy, in regards of burning, what do you call it, a doll or a sculpture or model of a person, it says. So effigy every year. So, and apparently they still do that. Apparently one place and one group is still so I don't know how many are still keeping to this celebration, but at least there are some still keeping it alive in England. So, and remembering in regards to the 17 Protestant martyrs, which of course could have been interesting to see what they stood. They probably just stood for the Bible and against the Antichrist and all that. So in regards to the Pope, the great stinking Pope, the unholy figure, his outmost smelliness. So that's, I guess, what I've looked into. Here's some more information. It's also interesting to read some of the, one of the stories where this guy, he was collecting all the Roman Catholic crucifixes. That was a wonderful story. So he collected all the crucifixes. I guess he must have still have been part of the Roman Catholic system. And finding out that this is idolatry. So he collects all the crucifixes and burn the crucifixes. So how did they react to that? Well, they burned him at the stake. Yep. I think he did the right thing in regards to burning those crucifixes, But no, the Roman Catholic insane institution couldn't handle that, So let's burn him at the stake, Because we love idolatry. We love worshipping the devil, It's incredible. Well, it's just utterly disgusting. And they're so slick. They're like eels, as you call eels, They're so slick. They're so slippery. It's incredible. Roman Catholics and how they lie and deceive and try to twist the truth in any direction. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. I guess some of these must be martyrs. I'm not entirely sure. He was hanged or drawn. Okay, so I guess this must be some kind of. It's interesting to see some of the people that Roman Catholics saint. Some of them are just so disgusting, like Ignatia Loyola. Yeah, that's you have to be kidding me. You're going to saint a guy like that? Well, I think you pretty much set your standard by that, And of course, in regards of sadly I can't remember his name, in regards of the Hastashi, saying a murderer, and then of course the guy that was against the scriptures and persecuting, persecuting those getting the Bible, and in regards of burning documents, I can't remember all the detail, but that was in regards of England. And what does the Roman Catholic Church do? Yeah, let's make him a saint. A guy that was against people reading the Bible and getting the Bible in the hands of the common man, and you saint him? have to be kidding me. And they were still, I saw something. They were still celebrating this guy in regards of, so-called saint. How can you, you have to be kidding me. This is evil. This Roman Catholic bullshit institution have persecuted the saints for hundreds and hundreds of years. Nothing to do with Christianity. They just hide behind it, It's just a political bullshit institution, that just persecutes the truth. And hide behind cheap clothing. Anyway, I was looking into in regards of Guy Fawkes Day and all that, and in regards to the song and all that. I'm still trying to see if I can find some originals. It's incredible how you see these songs that actually tells the truth in regards to the Antichrist and all that, and point to, and they just, I found one of these Guy Fawkes songs. Actually, I found multiple, but one of them is like, and it actually is pretty good. It was pretty good, but it's just a small amount of it. You don't have anything in regards to the poop, and you actually have seen that multiple places. Where they just take some of it and forget, the rest in regards to the poop. And all that. And actually, as I understand it, the original version was even, pointing to the Jesuits. And apparently it does, all the versions that I've seen don't point to the Jesuits, But there are something in regards to the poop in the versions. Let's see if we can find out. I've collected different versions here and trying to see if, but I would like to see if I could find an old version. I see here. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treasons and plot. I'm sorry, I haven't really gone further in regards of practicing. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes and his companions did the scheme contrive to blow the king and parliament all up alive. 70 sparrows laid below to prove old England's overthrow, but by God's providence him they catch with a dark lantern, lighting a match. A stick and a stake, for King James' sake. If you won't give me one, I'll take two, the better for me, and the worse for you. A robe to hang the Pope, a pennet of cheese to choke him, a pint of beer to wash it down, and a jolly good fire to burn him. Halloa boys, make the bells ring. Halloa boys, God save the King. Hip hip hooray. Anyway, that's one of the versions I've found. There's at least one other version. I have multiple, but I need to sort them out and all that. Let's see here. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder, treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes, 'twas his intent to blow up the king and the parliament. 70 barrels of powder below, poor old England to overthrow. By God's providence he was catched with a dark lantern and burning match. Halloa boys, God save the King. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. And it continues here. A penny loaf to feed old Pope, a farthing cheese to choke him, a pint of beer to rinse it down, a faggot of sticks to burn him. Burn him in the top of tar, burn him like a blazing star. Burn his body from his head, then we'll say old Pope is dead. Hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray. So, at least that has some little more anti-Catholic pointer, but actually, as I understand it, it was even more what shall we say, it was even more visible that the Jesuits had something to do with it. I have a source that says, instead of the gunpowder treason and plot, I give you a reason why Jesuit treason should never be forgot. And the last thing also in regards of some Jesuit, I haven't written that down yet. And anyway, of course I would like to find some good old originals, because I love songs that actually have some goodies in it. And it absolutely is anti-Catholic, and and that's what we want, right? Some anti-Catholic, A rope to hang the Pope, a pint of cheese to choke him, a pint of beer to wash it down, and a jolly good fire to burn him. I know it's not the most, but the idea, of course, was that in regards of this, it was not it was a figure that they burned on the stake, but it was to keep alive the, in regards of knowing who the Antichrist is and what this whole system is about. That, how far they will go to take over again, and being aware that they are out there and doing their wicked things. Of course, people have no idea nowadays, and we have totally lost discernment and, our history, and it's just, So now they're just running over us pretty much, because we don't know who the Antichrist is. We have no idea where to look to. Now the so-called Protestants are running back to the Antichrist because they have stopped protesting against him. So I guess they have become Catholic again or something like that, all of life, 3 scores or scroll barrels. I would need to figure out in regards to the melody a little more. But, it seems like it's possible to sing it. I guess it's said to be a poem, but a lot of these poems you can actually sing. A rope to hang the Pope, a pint of cheese to choke him, a pint of beer to wash it down, and a jolly good fire to burn him. That's a pretty good cling, I'm not sure in regards of hello boys, make the bells ring. Hello boys, God save the king. Hip hip hooray. And again, the last part actually apparently had some in regards to the Jesuits. But I need to research more and see if I can find some good sources. But it's all these things, so-called political songs of the Reformation, all that. You have to be kidding me. A lot of these songs have a lot of truth in them, in regards of exposing this filthy system of the Antichrist. I found one song in regards to the painter, and I think it had one doctrinal issue in regards to the heaven-hell thing and all that. But besides that, it was a song about what, in regards to what the Dark Ages has been or had been in regard, and what they were doing now to attack those that was reading the Bible, and it's just a credible window into the past. A wonderful song, and I really wonder why would these songs be and then of course Martin Luther's song that was censored in regards of line 2. It's just this. There was another song as well. That was in regards to against the Eucharist, I think. But anyway, it's a lot of research to do, and again, some books I would like to get, but money. Anyway, let's see here. He actually have it.
Mask, an effigy, sometimes a fox, that children then threw into the bonfire that Fox managed to escape. A tradition that continues even today, all to celebrate the day that England wasn't blown up. So the next time you're in Britain on the 5th of November, spare a penny for the guy, and a thought for the bonfires waiting on him. And as always, remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder treason and plot, for I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes, 'twas his intent to blow up the king and the parliament, 70 barrels of powder below, poor old England to overthrow. By God's providence he was catched, with a dark lantern and a burning match. So holler boys, let the bells ring, and holler boys, God save the king. 'Twas his intent.
Again, I didn't hear anything in regards to the Pope, did you? I didn't hear it anyway. Didn't hear any. Again, they have a way of cutting away in regards of, in regards to the Pope, one after another. They just cut it off, And I remember also seeing one of Luther's other songs where they just have cut off, things that that was very, I think, very important. They just cut it off, Just whoops, no, we don't want to have people doing that, Let's just remove that from the song. You have to be kidding me. So who is doing this? Well, we couldn't have infiltrators and Roman agents around, could we? Well, apparently we have a lot of Freemasons around in the churches in this nation. They even just go, they even say it, they don't even hide it anymore, apparently. It's incredible. Utterly disgusting, the first thing, of course, one should do would be to kick out these Satanists of the churches. Why would you have a Satanist standing on the podium teaching the, reading God's word and and trying to lead them? Why would you have a Satanist lead? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you have an atheist lead the people? It just doesn't make any sense anymore in this, the diabolical world. You don't even have a, How can you have one that doesn't even believe in the Bible on the podium? It's just so downhill. Of course, it was already downhill 150 years ago, according to Kierkegaard. So it hasn't become any better in our days, that's for sure. Incredible. But anyway, that is a wonderful. That's one of the songs again that would be interesting. And I had another one. I have multiple. I really have to get. So many things. That's the problem. But I really need. So there was another song that I was thinking about that I didn't. Anyway, the song from The Pain, that would be nice, and Martin Luther's song as well. There's some good songs. A song I have some. In regards of what there should be in a song. There should be truth in a song. It should be very clear that people can hear what hear the words, the lyrics. It shouldn't be all this wrongy, and the instruments shouldn't take over, and you shouldn't sing over each other and all that. So that's pretty much my, it's just Satan. I think he has ruined a huge amount of, what is the worth if you can't hear the lyrics, and what is the worth if it's not, songs about the truth, it's just there's so many songs out there that's just totally flat. There's no deepness in them in regards of doctrinal truth. It's just anyway. But yeah, people really need to wake up in regards to these things. But well, we'll see. Hopefully they will. So I guess that was all for me, just a little. And I should probably have turn the camera around, whatever, yeah. So take care in regards to the Antichrist. That's the guy in the office and seat of the papacy. That's the Antichrist. Every single man in that office represents the man of the number 666, or the beast of the number 666. So just be aware, that's the copycat. That's the faker, that unholy faker. That's, what do you call it in regards of, you have original and you have copies. No, not like I'm thinking like, when you have like a Rolex, and the Rolex is, you have a real Rolex and you have something that is not real. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but don't follow this fake guy, I was thinking about something. There's so many things to where you're getting links here and there and all that, and my brain can't keep it. There's so much in regards of linking here and linking there, and you were just again, what was it? I hope hopefully it will come again at some point, because I remember that was actually a pretty good. You just see everything, everything. It's just, I guess you get to a point. Well, yeah. You begin to see what is going on in the world. With God's help, you begin to see what is really going on. Because the devil is a master, deceiver. He's a crafty deceiver. He should not be underestimated. But we have God, putting forward in regards of His word to help us so we are not going to be deceived by by the devil's system, and stand strong on God's word. Anyway, may Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be a most precious pearl, and the Spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, all of you. Shabbat Shalom. It's still the 7th day. That's a good. I really need to collect all these songs, and there's another poem as well. That is that's an interesting story. In regards to the cookie Jesus, that would be awesome. I've tried to sing that as well, and that seems to be possible as well. Now, of course, I would be needing to train a little how it needs to be, but then you could actually, sing a pretty good song with it. It's a longer, story. In some sense, it would be a longer song, but at least, if one could do it, it would be pretty nice. Carrying the message of the story. And it's of course it's anti-Catholic as well. Love anti-Catholic. Truth is important in this world, and it just truth is just anti-Catholic. That's just how it is. But of course it's the Roman Catholics don't they don't tolerate that, right? They get offended because exposure of the whole wicked system. Hey, if you're a Roman Catholic and seeing this, get out of the system. Just, get out of the bed of the hole and just run. And don't look back, flee to Christ and Christ alone, and be instructed by Him, and flee the man of death, the man full of bones, the triune tyrant, the Roman Caesar, the Pontifex Maximus, the high pagan priest, Just flee from that guy, Anyway, have a good one, all of you. Bye-bye. Shalom.